Marvel finally gave us our first trailer. Look at the Fantastic Four first steps with the release of the teaser trailer during a special launch event Tuesday morning, for which the First Family's cast itself was on hand to present. And what a trailer it was! Marvel led the drop with a space race-esque countdown in theme with the film's 1960s aesthetic. We met all of our 4 main cast members and even saw a glimpse of the biggest bad of all, Galactus. Let's not tarry. Who wants to go first?
I do, the Sue Storm of this Fantastic Four panel right here. I thought this trailer was great. I think it just did exactly what it needed to do for a teaser trailer. We saw all of our main people, we saw the big villain, but we didn't get a lot of other information, and that is perfectly fine. This is going to be a really anticipated film. We didn't need to get, too much into the weeds right away. They're just showing us, this is what we're doing, this is what it looks like. Hope it's enough to get you hooked, kind of a thing. I thought the marketing ploy of the countdown was really cool, but I think they missed building up the hype to that in the marketing sense, because it was like, oh, this is happening, but we didn't really know it was going to be something that happened. I think they could have just done a little more to make us, a little more countdown type posts. That's just me thinking from a marketing standpoint, because I thought it was a great idea to do it that way.
Can I ask, while you're talking about that, does anybody know, did they plan to release it? Because I had heard it was going to drop with the Super Bowl, and then I heard it was leaked, and then I heard they were doing a countdown. So I wondered if the leak forced their hand to drop it early. But has anybody traced that story?
I didn't hear anything about a leak. Yeah, I think they did announce yesterday, when we're recording this here, that it would, they put out the first poster and all that stuff, that Marvel typically does, where 24 hours before they'll throw the posters out and then tease the teaser, and then they'll drop the teaser. So it seemed like with the event, it was probably a little bit more pre-planned. But yeah, I mean, how excited can you be at 7 a.m. or whatever?
Right. And I think that's part of it. And that's why I think they could have built that up a little more, and then people would have been like, oh yeah, I'm locked in. But when I woke up and I was expecting the trailer to have dropped, but it was this countdown, I was like, oh, okay. It was kind of, but anyway, the trailer itself, awesome. Had a great time watching it.
That's awesome.
Yeah, the vibes are immaculate. I would say 10 out of 10 for vibes in this particular Marvel trailer. And yeah, it didn't go so hard with information, which I think is a good thing, because we still have another trailer to come. This was a teaser, right? We're going to get the full trailer eventually, a little bit down the road. And when that happens, we'll probably see the Galactus face, the Reed Richards powers, the Silver Surfer, maybe get a little bit more of where are we, when are we, what's kind of going on with the story beat. And this trailer didn't really need to do that. It didn't need to take those giant leaps forward yet. It was an impactful trailer. It trended all day. People were talking about it all day. The top trending topics on Twitter that weren't political, at least, were things like Fantastic Four, Pedro Pascal, The Thing, just all Fantastic Four related. So the conversation's there, and I know just within my own bubble, it's my own circle, but I've seen a lot of people talking about it that they watched Marvel and they're sort of hit and miss with Marvel, but they haven't really kept up with all of the things that have happened over the last 5 or 6 years. They were posting about it, saying this looks really cool, this looks really different. I saw people being like, Marvel's kind of back, this looks like something I'm really interested in. So I think just the detached nature of it, and the trailer feels detached from the wider MCU. I mean, we sort of know that it is, but the trailer feels detached. It feels like a different time. There's no Avengers Tower. We know Marvel is built on the idea of connectivity. That's why we love it. That's the whole brand is built on that. But I think this movie is doing itself a lot of favors by having that detachment a little bit. It's not really weighed down as much by the connectivity. Does this matter for the next big thing? Do I have to have seen X, Y, and Z to be able to have this make sense? It seems like people see it, they see the plot, they're not really seeing a bunch of characters they don't know, and they're like, oh, cool, this seems like a fun thing. So I think, we've come a long way since the Galactus as a cloud days, and I think as we look forward to this next MCU phase, and we're looking at this being a staple group of characters, it does seem like we're at the point of something really exciting in the MCU, and it feels like the freshness of this. I mean, this thing was the Matt Shackman energy in this was coming off hard. I mean, this felt like WandaVision in places. You know, he's this creative mind behind WandaVision, and that it was there. It felt fun. It felt kind of like a little like schlocky and gimmicky and Jetsons, but like that's what makes it cool. And you know, like that's what kind of draws you in a little bit. It's, you know, we've been talking about Severance a lot, and Severance is good because it just is weird and it kind of like leans into weird stuff, and it's not afraid to just be like, this is not normal, but we're just going to lean into it. And I really felt that sort of thing with this, like just the walking around the house, the accents, the kind of like, you know, the robot that looks futuristic, the thing kind of looking not like hyper realistic, like we've tried that in the past, but trying to make him look comics accurate. Like things like that is working for this. And so I think just overall, it seems like the trailer was a big success. And man, July is going to be crazy. We got this, we got Superman. Yeah. We'll talk about Jurassic World Rebirth here in a little bit, but that's coming out in July too. Like we got a stacked slate coming up this summer. It's really exciting.
Yeah, I pointed out on the MCU cast earlier today when we did a full episode on this trailer, and I compared this to the Superman trailer because I think the vibe is very similar. I don't know, there's something very like just the hopeful nature of the trailer, the color palette of the trailer feels a lot like the Superman trailer, and I wonder if we're going to be, depending on the success of those two properties, if we do see like a boost back into Marvel and DC from those two movies, I wonder if it will set a new course and a new vibe, this immaculate vibe that you mentioned, Jay. I wonder if it will set that course for comic book movies in general. Like they've been, even though they've gone way closer to comics accurate and brighter colors, still Infinity War and Endgame are pretty like gray. Like a lot of the movie is gray, you know, like when you get to certain places, and like from that whole Russo brothers vibe is kind of that sort of, it has a muted tones to it. And this doesn't feel that way. This feels a lot brighter and very deliberately so. And same thing with the Superman movie. So I'm that July could be a big pivot point for all of that stuff. And as for the trailer itself, I loved it. The only thing I wish, and I'll do my one negative, is I wish we'd gotten something we didn't know. I do wish there'd been something they had been reserving for this moment, because I think it would have really lit us on fire. I keep I keep thinking about all day thinking about this trailer and how good it was and how it's really tight and wonderful and like the vibes are immaculate. But like I keep thinking about the pumpkin bombs in the No Way Home trailer. You know what I mean? Like that moment where you're just like, oh, they're doing that. You know what I mean? Like I didn't feel that. I feel like I knew everything in this trailer already. Which is partially my own fault for being so plugged in. I know there's a lot of people out there who won't be that way, but I think when they put these trailers out and they want the hype to build, they need to do it in a way that like brings the new people in and gives us, you know, obsessives something new to obsess over. And I still love the vibes. I don't feel like I have anything new to obsess over.
I think that this was like a confidence vote though, because this is a huge property. The Fantastic Four is so well known, despite what that guy said about one of our clips where I was talking about the Fantastic Four, and he's like, nobody knows who they are. And I was like, okay, 15 million views of the trailer would tell you otherwise. But anyway, like, I think this is hey, this is what we're doing, and it's going to work. And then I think the next trailer is going to be really cool and do something exciting and something we didn't know about.
Yeah, something I think is cool, too, is like, you can tell from the trailer they're not going to do the super origin story thing. Like they're not going to be like half the movie isn't going to be them shooting into space and getting powers, which like we just don't need it. We did the same thing with Spider-Man, right? We just dove right in and you were like, you guys know Spider-Man? You know how he got the powers. All he had to do was just be like, I got bit by a bug, and we can move on. Like we don't have to do the whole thing. And it just seems like they're going to do that here. It seems like maybe the movie's going to start with them maybe taking on some kind of like smaller villain, and there'll be flashbacks to them going into space, like sort of like jumping between time, kind of explaining it. Right. It almost felt like the beginning of the trailer was they were being interviewed for like a magazine or something. Exactly. They were giving the tour. I think that's it. And I think like when that happens, we'll probably get these flashbacks to sort of explain, here's what happened, here's why we're famous, here's why everybody knows who we are. And then we're just going to move forward. And I love that. I think like that's the move with superhero movies now. Like it's just, we don't need the origin stuff really anymore, unless it's a super unknown character, or unless it's a Disney Plus thing, I just really don't think we need those in the movies anymore. We kind of know who these people are.
Yeah. On that note, kind of referring to how we actively saw, the Fantastic Four undergoing some media relations. It looks like they were actively filming something when they had that gentleman in their household. In my mind's eye, I'm kind of picturing the opening of this movie like fully steeped, like you'll kind of be sitting in a classroom watching this produced like documentary. It's like, welcome to the Fantastic Four, the heroes of this world. And then kind of slowly but surely it'll transition to the real world, and you'll probably go to like something behind the scenes because, again, with Matt Shackman, having worked on WandaVision, he clearly has an interest in that kind of like, the world between worlds in terms of like giving you a little bit of a look into the actual filmmaking there. But as far as a big first step for the marketing goes, this really worked for me. It did exactly what it needed to do. It teased. So everything that we've been talking about here, maybe it didn't give us anything to like, completely blow our minds or speculate about or anything like that, but it showed us a lot. Everything that's been brought up, I think the aesthetic is wonderful. The color palette is such in such stark contrast to many of the films that we've seen, especially out of Marvel. I think this was just a great first look, and it was kind of exactly what I was waiting for. Like, I've been looking forward to this movie, but I've always kind of had a little bit of hesitation or reservation. And, that is probably around Pedro's casting, but I really liked it. I know. But I really did enjoy everything that I saw, and I liked how they left some stuff on the table. We did not see Silver Surfer at all. A lot of the characters like Natasha Lyonne, Paul Walter Hauser, we have no idea who they're still playing too. We did see John Malkovich, but we still don't know who he's playing. So in my opinion, that is an effective trailer. And we do know, or we've heard that Sue Storm is supposed to be kind of the central figure here, and just like the dialogue between Reed and Sue, getting to be that kind of like fulcrum for the family. Like, hey, I'm here. Johnny's being Johnny. Ben has always been a rock. Like, we're here. We're going to do this. And it just looks really encouraging. And I did see some criticisms online. The worst criticism I've seen is that people are saying it's boring. You're entitled to your opinion, but if that's the best you can come up with, I kind of think that's a boring take. So I am kind of reminded of when we talked about the Superman trailer. Like, can we just enjoy these things again? Do we have to pick everything apart with a fine tooth comb? Just enjoy it and wait for more to be revealed.
No, just guys, it's what we do here.
Hey, nobody hates stuff like fans,
That's right. That's right.
Right.
You just watched a clip from Multiverse News. If you liked it, go to our channel. We got a whole episode that it comes from. So go check that out and hit the like and subscribe. And we got lots of clips you'll enjoy, but also full hour-long episodes of Multiverse News with lots of things that don't even make it to clips. So check us out.
You stay clippy.